The station has a question for you. Are the Panthers a playoff team? I ask that because we talked a ton about the Panthers. We should talk a ton about the Panthers. They're fascinating. When you have the number one overall pick, you're going to be the object of many a discussion. But Bryce Young is going to dominate so much of the conversation that sometimes the team goals get put to the side. And, ready for this? I think that's the right way to handle it. It's been clear. I've been clear. We've been clear. This show has been clear from the day we went on air 2 weeks and 2 days ago that the most important thing for the Panthers this season is giving Bryce Young everything he needs to develop and become your franchise quarterback. That's the most important thing. That is above everything. But that doesn't mean you can't also be a playoff team, right? So there's this was kind of sparked by a conversation I actually saw Dennis having on Adam's show yesterday, which was, if the Panthers don't make the playoffs, is this a disappointing season? Is that a failure? Now, I don't know exactly how he worded it, but that's kind of the vibe I got. And I started thinking, right, because my answer, and I said this on our YouTube page, by the way, follow us and subscribe on YouTube at 99.9 The Fan. And I said, listen, the number one way this season is a success is if Bryce Young develops, right? If he is on the path or already to being obviously a franchise quarterback. If that happens, win-loss record is pixie dust, right? It's just, hey, it's there. But that's not necessarily saying they're not a playoff team. Right? That's not necessarily saying they should try not to be a playoff team. That's just saying that there's some priority above it when it comes to measuring the success of this season. Are the Panthers a playoff team is a completely different scenario. Right? Because the crux of it all is it a good season? Is it a bad season? Can be measured a million different ways. Is it a good practice? Is it a bad practice? Can be measured a billion different ways. Is it a good play? Is it a bad play? Could be measured a bunch of different ways. When I played in college, we used to get 3 different grades every play. We had decision, we had execution, and we had, our coach used to call it playmaker, which, a little cheesy. But decision would be if you made the right read, right? If it's a pass play. Did you read the defense and choose the right guy to throw it to? Execution was, well, did you make a good throw, right? Was it accurate? Sometimes you made the wrong decision, but you made the right play, right? You made a good throw, and it was completed, right? You threw it into double coverage, but you were so accurate it counted anyway. That's a negative on decision, a positive on execution. Reverse could happen, right? I picked the right guy. He was wide open. I threw it at his feet. That is a good decision. That is bad execution. And then playmaker was the other, right? That's like, I don't know, reserved for the Cam Newtons of the world, right? Very rarely did we get a plus in playmaker because you'd have to do something special, and we were all drop back passers who were just getting the ball to our playmaker's hands. But I explain that just to say there's a million different ways to judge success. They're not exclusive of each other. I think there's a priority, right? Playmaker was always a priority over the other two. If you could make the giant play that changes the game, who cares if your decision was the right one? You made the giant play that changed the game. For the Panthers, Bryce Young, number one. Playoff, still an option, right? Still an option. So monitor Bryce Young. Here's Bryce Young talking to the media earlier today about how he evaluates whether he had a good day at practice or not.
Yeah, I think there's always emotions, and I'm a competitor, and you on the field, you feel the ups and downs of competition. You have to round back in to get to the next play, but at the end of the day, when the play's done and it's been made, you have to there's nothing left to do but to learn from it. So either you can let those emotions keep going and whatever negative, positive, or just let it feel and then not learn, or whether it's good or bad. At this point, all there's left to do is watch the film, have a conversation with coaches and teammates, and then, find ways to grow and learn.
So how do the Panthers get plus, right? Plus for Bryce Young development, plus for making the playoffs, plus for playmaker other, right? We're looking for 3 pluses. A, Bryce Young has to do everything he just said. They've got to develop. You got to learn from it. If it's a bad play, learn from it. Team needs to give him the playmakers around him, all those things. And they can still make the playoffs.
Especially with the division they're in.
Boom.
I mean, that's a big positive right there if you're able to win the division. I mean, come on, people.
Part of it is just how bad the NFC South is. If they were in a very, very tough division, I would almost be concerned if they were worried about winning the division, because I'd be going, all right, that means you're playing veterans, right? You're not letting the young guys develop. You're looking for spot starts. You're scratching and clawing for the wrong things.
If they were in any other division other than the NFC South, a positive would just be getting to double-digit wins for the season.
Double-digit wins would be – I think there's a good chance not getting to double-digit wins could still win this division. Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, do any of them scare you? No. New Orleans is the betting favorite. Are they perfect? Far from it. Right? New quarterback. They have to hope Michael Thomas gets back, gets healthy, and then stays healthy. They have Alvin Kamara. Is he going to be suspended? Will their aging defense hold up? There's so many questions on the betting favorite that why wouldn't the Panthers daydream of playoff success? So as long as it does not get in the way of Bryce Young, the Panthers should expect to be in the playoffs. They should. Are they going to be a playoff team? They should. That's what I say.
And to me, that's a huge win for the season right there.
Just out of sheer the nature of their effort, they should make the playoffs because they have young talent, and everybody in the Panthers organization should be moving in the same and right direction this year. Right? Everybody should be rowing the boat and holding on to the rope and pulling, whatever your metaphor is about a team that's in sync. They should be that, and they should be trying very, very hard.
We're already off to a good start with this training camp, because remember last season with Matt Rule, there was the whole, we're still waiting to see who's going to be the starting quarterback. Between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, are you kidding me?
We talked about this on, what day was it? Must have been Friday. On Friday, we talked about how – so actually I'll just say that the actual date was – last Thursday was the 1-year anniversary of the first time we got video of Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold on the practice field together, and it felt like it was 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
The amount that the Panthers had changed in that one calendar year was unbelievable. And a large part of that is the Bryce Young deal, but a large part of it is also just – whether it's new, I'm not going to blame Matt Rule for everything, although that I know there are people that out there that do. It just out of pure everybody understanding the direction of the team in a division that has the Bucs, who still don't know their quarterback. They feel a lot like the Panthers from a season ago, in that Baker Mayfield's in a quarterback competition where it seems like nobody wants to win it. Whether you are the Falcons, who have an 8th overall pick at running back, 8th overall pick at wide receiver, 4th overall pick at tight end, and the 83rd pick or whatever he is at quarterback. There's questions there.
And if you watch the quarterback documentary series on Netflix, you just know about all the questions within that organization.
Well played.
At quarterback.
And Desmond Ridder he's unproven. That defense is unproven. And Arthur Smith as a head coach they're just unproven there. And then you have the Saints, who we already went over, and the Panthers, meanwhile, number 1 pick at quarterback, right? A coach who, at the very least, knows how to get an organization moving in the right direction. You have a top pick at tackle that played every down or every game last year. They should expect to be a playoff team. Are they a playoff team? The answer is yes, unless something goes wrong or something it comes down to we're either going to make the playoffs or we're going to help Bryce Young. I don't see that being dichotomy. I don't see that pulling against each other, but the number 1 priority has to be getting Bryce Young moving in the right direction. But could they be a playoff team? Heck yes. Should they be? Heck yes. Will I say the world is falling if they don't? Heck no.